Part 1. You're not living. You're just replaying an old script you forgot you agreed to. You wake up. You think you're making choices. You think you're evolving. You think you're growing. But cold mind sees through the noise. You're not living forward. You're looping backward. Every thought you recycle, every reaction you obey, every move you defend. It's not growth. It's decay. You're operating on scripts written years ago by survival, by fear, by accidental moments. You never edited. And every time you respond the same way, feel the same shame, justify the same limits. You're not being true to yourself. You're being true to an outdated identity that your nervous system refuses to retire. It's not who you are. It's who you survived as. And if you don't kill the loop, you'll spend your life re-performing a role you were never meant to keep. You're not failing to grow. You're failing to interrupt the version of you that should have been left behind. Part 2. Your brain doesn't care about growth. It cares about familiarity. You think your mind is designed for evolution, for expansion, for next levels. But cold mind sees what it's really built for: survival through sameness. Your brain isn't trying to make you stronger. It's trying to make you consistent. Because in evolutionary terms, predictability equals safety. The more you repeat a pattern, same reactions, same beliefs, same behaviors, the more your nervous system relaxes. It doesn't matter if that pattern is destructive. It doesn't matter if it keeps you small. It doesn't matter if it sabotages your future. It's familiar. And in the logic of survival, familiar, functional. That's why you collapse into versions you despise. Knowing better, glimpsing different, yet kneeling to the old decay you once survived. But when pressure hits, when stress spikes, when uncertainty appears, your system pulls you back to the last identity that successfully survived, even if it was broken, even if it was miserable, even if it cost you everything. Because the goal of the survival mind isn't to thrive, it's to repeat. And every day you don't intervene. Every day you let reflex run your actions. The brain rewrites the code deeper. It carves grooves. It hardens loops. It stabilizes the script. And soon, you're not just acting out old patterns. You're defending them, calling them who you are, making them sacred. When in reality, they're just programs that were never questioned long enough to be deleted. Your brain isn't loyal to your potential. It's loyal to your past, until you make it unloyal by force. Part 3. Every action you repeat isn't just a habit. It's a vote for your old identity. You think habits are just behaviors, that if you fix what you do, you'll fix who you are. But cold mind sees deeper. Every behavior is an unconscious ballot for the identity you're reinforcing. Here's how the loop runs. You feel something familiar: fear, doubt, urgency. You overthink into paralysis. You delay into irrelevance. You shrink into invisibility. That action signals to your nervous system, see? This is still who we are. Your brain updates your core identity map to match the behavior. That identity spawns the next set of expected behaviors, and you perform them because it feels natural. You're not following who you are. You're following who you proved yourself to be. The last 1,000 times you didn't interrupt. And every cycle, every reinforcement, every unchallenged move cements the loop deeper. You didn't inherit shyness. You manufactured it. one silent retreat at a time. You didn't become insecure. You voted for insecure. One apology at a time. You didn't become hesitant. You voted for hesitant dash. One delayed action at a time. And the more votes you cast, the more your brain streamlines it. Faster trigger. Faster action. Less thinking. Until one day, you're not choosing anything. You're just running a script, written by yesterday's survival patterns. This is why change feels so heavy. It's not just new action. It's overriding an entire feedback system, designed to preserve the old self. And that system doesn't update with hope. It updates with disruption. You don't become different by intention. You become different. By interrupting the votes, you unconsciously keep casting. You're not trapped by who you are. You're trapped by who you keep proving you still are. In every action you refuse to disrupt. Part 4. Break the loop. Reframe. Interrupt. Replace. You can't fix the old identity by thinking harder. You have to break its operating loop before it reloads. Here's how cold mind dismantles it. Step 1. Reframe. Your personality is just practice. Stop calling your reactions who you are. They're not sacred. They're not your truth. They're just what you practiced enough times to confuse with authenticity. Start labeling them accurately. This hesitation isn't me, it's trained. This over-explaining isn't my nature, it's conditioning. This fear isn't wisdom, it's leftover wiring. When you name it as practice, you make it editable. And once it's editable, it's evictable. Step 2. Interrupt. Break the autopilot mid-flight. You don't need to win the inner war. You just need to disrupt the sequence. Every time you feel the old reflex rising, pause. Stand up. Move differently. Speak differently. Refuse the next expected move. It doesn't have to be graceful. It doesn't have to feel good. It just has to be different. Because difference is the crack in the loop's armor. No interruption equals same identity. Interruption equals chance for rewire, even if it's tiny, even if it's ugly, even if it feels fake. Step 3. Replace. Install new code. Actively. Nature hates a vacuum if you kill the old loop. But leave the space empty, the system reloads the past. So you must replace immediately, intentionally. Pick the new action, not based on feeling, not based on readiness, based on design. Example. Old trigger. Criticism. Collapse. New move. Criticism. Slow breath. Direct response. No defense. Over and over. Not until it's comfortable. Until it's automatic. Because repetition, not inspiration, rewrites identity. You don't break identity loops. By feeling different, you break them. By acting different, until your nervous system stops remembering the old road. You're not waiting to become ready. You're training your system to stop recognizing the past as the only road it knows. Part 5. He didn't become confident. He just stopped rehearsing insecurity. He used to say, "I'm just not a confident person. I overthink everything. It's just who I am." And for years, he believed it, not because it was true, but because he never stopped rehearsing the same script. Every room he entered, he shrank. Every decision he faced, he hesitated. Every compliment he received, he deflected. And every act, Every tiny reflex was a silent reinforcement. This is what I do. This is what I must be. Until one day, he didn't try to be confident. He just tried to break the pattern once. He noticed the urge to stay quiet and spoke anyway. Not perfectly, not eloquently, just differently. He noticed the habit of shrinking back and took one step forward instead. Not out of courage, but out of war against autopilot. At first it was awkward, forced, small, trembling. But every interruption was a crack in the armor of the old identity. And over time, the cracks widened. He spoke more naturally. He hesitated less. He owned his moves without post-analysis. Not because he found his true self, but because he starved the old self to death. The shy version of him didn't heal. It didn't evolve. It collapsed from lack of reinforcement. Because cold mind knows identities don't survive on memory. They survive on maintenance. Stop maintaining, and the old self dies. He didn't force confidence. He just stopped feeding hesitation. And when the loop broke, the new mind had space to build itself. Part 6. Final message. You don't build the new you. You stop performing the old one. You keep trying to be better, to fix yourself, to grow into the next version. But cold mind sees the deeper truth. You're not failing because you can't grow. You're failing because you keep rehearsing a role that's already expired. Your nervous system isn't loyal to your potential. It's loyal to what you practice. And every time you move the same way, hesitate the same way, respond the same way, you vote for the identity. That keeps you trapped. You don't need more confidence, more clarity, more courage. You just need fewer votes for the person you no longer want to be. You don't fix the old self. You stop feeding it. You starve it until the system forgets how to reload it. And in the absence of that loop, space opens. Space for a version of you that doesn't need therapy to exist, doesn't need permission to show up, doesn't need fixing before acting. You were never meant to evolve. You were meant to uninstall the lie. Transition to next video. In the next video, we'll unlock mastering frame control in daily life. How to hold invisible leadership, even in the smallest interactions. Subscribe. Interrupt the loop. Exit the script.